Montoya, yeah.
It's Montoya.
It's Montoya. So he was dead a long time ago.
Yeah, that's correct. Right?
But I remember Dr. Ali, you would like to stay in Bandung at the time. Do not want to return to Bangladesh. For some reason.
Yeah, there are many reasons.
So I thought Mr. Ali, I thought at the time you would not return to your country because you love Bandung very well.
Okay, can we start now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I will mute all of the audience audio. Thank you. Selamat malam Bapak Ibu sekalian. Kita akan memulai acara webinar kali ini. Saya akan menampilkan pesan sponsor dulu. Nggak keluar audionya ya? Maaf.
Belum keluar.
Sudah keluar Pak Jarod.
Tapi nggak keluar suaranya itu. Sudah dicoba. Ya. Nah, rupanya nggak keluar suara. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues. This is our 21st webinar of the Indonesian Nuclear Societies. And this evening, we have very interesting title of webinars, the Bangladesh Nuclear Power Plant Program. And we have a special guest, Dr. Muhammad Ali Zulkarnain, the former chairman of Bangladesh Atomic Energy Commission. The interesting is that Pak Ali, I can call him Pak Ali. He knows well about Indonesia. So maybe Pak Taswanda later on will tell you about the background of Pak Ali. And I think we should learn from him about the Bangladesh success story, how to decide to go nuclear. We should know the background, for example. Maybe some of you want to know how to overcome the anti-nuclear movement, for example. We still many challenges. How to convince the stakeholders. So, for example, maybe some of you curious about how to communicate with the stakeholder, with the neighbor country like India, and how Bangladesh in cooperation with Russia. So this is a good example for us. Hopefully someday, well, I hope soon, we will follow the footsteps of Bangladesh to go nuclear. But at this moment, on behalf of HIMNI or Indonesian Nuclear Society, we want to promote nuclear technology, not only nuclear energy, but all of the aspects of nuclear technology. And we want to have many friends. We want to build a strong collaboration network with other communities. Nuclear is not the competitor of other energy sources. That's why with this mutual trust among us, hopefully some days, as again I said, we will follow the footsteps of Bangladesh to go nuclear. And today, the moderator is Dr. Taswanda Taryo. You know him, he's the former deputy chairman of Batan. He knows about nuclear energy, about nuclear technology. And I invite Dr. Taswanda Taryo to lead this webinar. Please, Pak Taswanda. You have to unmute your microphone.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you very much, Pak Jarod, for giving me opportunity to lead the webinar tonight. And I think we should be very happy because there is my colleague So in Bangladesh, I call Dosto. Dosto means best friend, right?
Right.
So Pak Jarod and myself invited him to be here tonight. And I think it is very important to all of us because what we have known that Bangladesh is one of developing country like Indonesia, but really in Bangladesh is one step ahead because he thought about nuclear power genetics long time ago, like we do. So Pak Jarod mentioned the previously that I knew Mr. Ali Zulkarnain for the first time in 1983 at the time.
That's right.
Maybe something like, 1983 at the time when Mr. Ali Zulkarnain and his friend Mahbub Rahman, right,
Right.
had I training for about 6 months in Bandung. So I'm very sure that Mr. Ali Zulkarnain will love Bandung very much because he know very well that the Bandung girls are very beautiful, right? So I remember also I brought him to come to my hometown Tasikmalaya, and he loved my hometown, and really, so it's very impressive of his character because it's very nice to everybody. So well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight before the presentation, I would like to tell in short about the uh, curriculum vitae for Mr. Ali Zulkarnain. So Mr. Ali Zulkarnain graduated in electrical engineering from Bangladesh University of Engineering and Technology, and he joined BUET in the project Triga Mark II reactor in 1981, and he has experience for 36 years in surface reactor and also more than 30 years in different capacity, including that as reactor manager for about 10 years. Starting from 2009, he deeply involved in Ropur NPP project and remained heavily involved with it until retirement chairman of BIKE at the end of January 2017. He played key role in development technical assignment, the contract document signed with the atom export from Russian Federation for implementation Ropur NPP project. And also Mr. Ali Zulkarnain was trained for 6 months, like I mentioned before. He received various aspect nuclear facilities such as in Argonne, United States, and ORI, Japan, Kairi, Korea, Atom Institute, Vienna, Hyper, Australia, Opsning, CSAT, and so on. And he is work as a member of Regent Board of several public universities for about 6 years. He introduced nuclear engineering now together with Professor M. Rashid since 2014 and lectured there for 3 years. A lecture various open course in nuclear engineering organized by the Institute of Nuclear Power Engineering since inception in 2016, and he has been teaching right now in Nuclear Engineering Military Institute of Science and Technology, Dhaka, since 2018. And finally, is also working as a member of Academic Council for the postgraduate program of newly opened Nuclear Engineering Department, Chittagong University, which is one of the famous universities in Bangladesh in engineering technologies in May 2019. I'm very sure the presentation tonight delivered by Mr. Ali must be very interesting because he will tell us a lot of things regarding about NPP project and how about the activities of nuclear engineering in his country, and also how about his role during he was the chairman of BIKE to make decision. And I think the Bangladesh is a quantum leap to finally develop and decide that nuclear power plant should be available in the country. Mr. Ali, please, your presentation. Thank you.
So thank you very much, my friend Darshan Datario, Dr. Darshan Datario. So let me start. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So it is a great pleasure for me to be with you, my friends and colleagues in Indonesia. Actually, Indonesia is very close to my heart. You know, as Dr. Dashwanda told, I was in Indonesia for 6 months at a very young age, and I just that was my first foreign visit. And of course, for the first time, I saw a nuclear reactor and I started learning nuclear technology. So that is a very nice impression I developed. I developed so many good friends, colleagues. I still remember them very well. I've got a very just live memory of my activity in Bandung. So, and I'm thankful to Indonesian Nuclear Society to give me an opportunity to share my experience with our friends there. And so let me start with a presentation. So I'd like to share a file. Let me go to the presentation file. So Dr. Tashwanda, can you see it? Is it
No,
okay?
not yet. Not yet. I didn't see it.
Okay, okay. So it's coming.
It's coming. Okay, that's great. Okay,
It's
please
okay.
go on.
Yeah, okay. So it takes time to go from Bangladesh to Indonesia, some time. So, okay.
Okay, that's good.
The topic I'm having today, it has been given by Dr. Tashwanda, is Bangladesh MPP program. So I would like to focus on our program, the activities that that has been going, particularly in recent years, and especially when I was in the Atomic Energy Commission, actively when I just involved in the activities. So this is the outline of my presentation. I'll be talking about some country profile. As you know, it's a developing country. We have got many common problems, like the problems we are having in Indonesia. So I'll be talking about the vision of the country and nuclear power development plan. Then infrastructure, what infrastructure we're having in here. I'll be focusing on BAC, that stands for Bangladesh Atomic Energy Commission. This organization is the owner of the nuclear program, and actually it is they're the owner of nuclear power plants. And of course, it is a R&D organization like Batan in Indonesia. And BAC has a affiliated company, we call it NPCBL, Nuclear Power Company Bangladesh Limited. This is a company which is responsible for operation of the nuclear power plant under construction, which is under construction. And one important player of this nuclear program is the regulator, Our regulator is called Bangladesh Atomic Energy Regulatory Authority. It's a newly established organization. I like some feature of the organization. And of course, educational institution plays a very vital role in the development of nuclear power program. So what we're doing in here, just educational system or institution. So far as the nuclear just knowledge is concerned, I'll be highlighting on this issue as well. And then I'll come to the main focus of our discussion today, this Rupur Nuclear Power Plant Project. Rupur is the place of the site. The name of the site is Rupur. So I'll have long, actually some detailed discussions on these Rupur projects. Particularly, I'll highlight the chronology of it and how the project developed. We are also trying to have nuclear power plants since 60s, and a lot of thing happens, and ultimately, just in recent years, things are moving positively. So I will tell my story and the present status of implementation, then other things and concluding remarks. So this is the outline of our presentation. So let me start with the background information. This is Bangladesh. It's a very tiny country. And you can see we have got big neighbors. India is surrounded, just surrounding us almost all the sides except this part, a little, just southern part. We share a common border with Myanmar. Otherwise, all the sides, India is there. So this is official land of People's Republic of Bangladesh. We have got parliamentary democracy. Bangladesh achieved its independence in 1971. So it's a small country, as I told. It's less than 150 square kilometer area, but a lot of people are there. Population density is very, very high, much higher than density we're having in Indonesia. Per capita GDP is very close to 2,000, which is almost half the per capita GDP you are having in Indonesia. And the per capita power generation, again, it is just much less than what we are having in there. So we have many people, we need to have a lot of power, for development. So our government, the present government, actually they are in power since 2009, and they have done a wonderful job. They actually, I need to say a couple of words. This government just is being headed by the political party Awami League. Under the leadership of Awami League, our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Actually, I respectfully recall him to, this year, because this year is the 100th birth anniversary of our, just the leader, father of the nation. Actually, his daughter, she's running the government. She's the our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. She's giving very wonderful leadership. I'll come to those points in detail. And she took very bold decision. Actually, she played the most key role for our nuclear power program. I'll come to the point. Actually, the government gave us a vision. We need to government. There's a vision to give electricity to all at an affordable price. By 2021, government wants to achieve it. And there's a vision for 20. Actually, in 2021, we'll complete 50 years of our independence. So vision, is there, and government is working in that line. And by 2041, we want to be a middle income country by 2030, and by 2041, our target is to be a developed country. So, just what development government made in last 10 years. Actually, the present government is in power for about 11 years. They did a wonderful job, as you can see, installed capacity of power generating stations. It was only 4,000, close to 5,000 in 2009. So it has increased to very close to 24,000. So the increment was 376%. It's a huge increment of 10 years. And maximum generation was only 4,000, very close to, and is close to 13,000. That is again more than 200% increment. And you can see per capita generation was only just 220. It has been more than double. And access to electricity, just at 20 years back, only less than 50% people, just were having access to electricity. It has increased to 97%. The target is to make it 100% by next year, inshallah. So this is the energy generation growth, just as a historical data, how things are going, and you can see it is increasing, not linearly, rather exponentially. So right now, what are the sources of energy, particularly used for production of electricity? And you can see the gas is the major player, very close to just 60%. And other players are the fuel, and the fuel is very expensive fuel. We're also having some coal. Indigenous coal is not that much limited, but we have planned to go for coal plant, and in that case, I believe many of the coal will be coming from Indonesia, my country of my friends, as well as from Australia, and India is also there. We have got very limited hydro. We don't have much potential within the country for hydro, but our neighboring countries have got very good potential. So this is the situation, power generation situation, that the fuel mix in 2019. And this is the status of the primary source of energy. We have got indigenous gases, but gas is depleting very fast. And you understand, when you will not have any indigenous gas, so we should have to import an LNG. The production cost will go up. Hydro, as I told, there's a limitation. Coal is very limited coal, but we need to go for imported coal. Oil, just we need to import, and cost is very unstable. LNG also need to have long-term.
I think there is internet problem with our colleague. We have to wait.
Mr. Ali, are you there?
Itu ya, tadi Cing Adi. Cing Adi itu
Mr.
tadi
Ali,
telepon Bunda. Cing Adi.
are you there?
Kalau begini berarti nggak ada suaranya, ada suaranya. Enggak ada mati.
He lost his. Okay. He's back. He's back now.
He's coming?
Yes, he's coming. Pak Ali, please.
Oh ya lagi, bentar lah ceritanya budaya.
Mr. Ali?
Beliau masih di mute, Pak Jarod.
Ya. Saya udah ask to unmute.
Mr. Ali, please. Are you there? Mr. Ali, would you like to switch on the mic, please?
Unmute.
Unmute.
Okay.
Okay. Please.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Let me share the file again so that you can see. Sometimes it becomes very difficult to handle technology.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to share. Okay. Okay.
I haven't seen your slide.
You will see it now.
Not yet.
Okay, I'm waiting for it to come.
It's okay now, yeah.
It's okay now?
Yes. Please.
But I cannot see it. I cannot stand. Okay, let me give you one. Okay, now it's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So you see, this is a plan for power generation, the fuel mix in 2030 and 2041, and you can see nuclear will play a role, not but gradually, hopefully, will increase it. And in course of time, when SMRs will be coming up, I personally have a lot of interest of the SMRs because our small power plant in future can be replaced by SMRs, according to my understanding. And you see, this is a nuclear plan. It's a power system master plan. Is this policy document about the development of power sectors. So as you can see, these are the development of nuclear reactors of nuclear power generation. Our target by 2025 will be producing about 2,600 megawatt from nuclear, and 2041 it will be about just double. And 2025, just our target is to have 1,200 VVR reactor to be made operational, and these two reactors is being set up at our Rupur nuclear power plant site. So the location of Rupur, you can see Bangladesh once again, and just the location Rupur is in here is very close to Indian border, and there's a big river, the Ganges. The part of Ganges, when it enters Bangladesh, we call it Padma River. So beside this river, the site is here, as you can see it in here. Just beside this, the site, Rupur site, and there are two bridges, big bridge. One is road, and actually one is the rail bridge. The rail bridge is more than 100 years old. It was built during the British regime. And this site, you can see, this is the river, and this is the Rupur site. It's about 160 acre. Initially, it was 160. It was about 260 acre land, and then we were given some more land. Now the total site is about very close to 1,000 acre. So, as I told our honorable Prime Minister, when she came to power for the second time, and in 2009, she took a very strong decision. You can see a newspaper cutting published in a newspaper published in 15 June 2009, and there was actually just a roundtable where our honorable minister was present, and the minister, he talked about the decision of the government. Government firm on building nuclear power plant, to get electricity problem solved. Because at 2009 we had a lot of load shedding. It's a very big problem. We have suffered a lot. The whole country, with only less than 5,000 megawatt of generation. So many people, and it was a very terrible time. So government thought about all fuel options, and as you can see, actually for our present program, we are very much thankful and grateful to our honorable Prime Minister. She took a very bold decision. Must go, and it is written in Bangla, and it means must go for nuclear power generation. And she told all these things in a SARC seminar. We have got a regional cooperation agreement, SARC, and there was a seminar going on, and the inauguration session, she declared that Bangladesh must go for the nuclear power. And as you understand, you need to have good support from the neighbors. If you want to go for nuclear, then we're lucky, we're having very good support from our big neighbors. And sometimes people ask me, when I was giving a lecture back in to 2015 in Moscow. There was a very big international gathering. So one of the audience asked me, Mr. Ali, your country is very small. Why are you going to have nuclear? And you have got problem. You don't have hard rock, soft soil. Just many people. So I told him one story. Let's look at this picture. At the time, 2016, so the power generation uh, actually capability from nuclear is about 6,000 megawatts from India, and other neighbor China, it was about 31,000. But what plan they had in 2030, India had a plan to generate 64,000, almost 10 times more power they had planned to build from nuclear, and China from 31 to 200,000 megawatts. So what does it mean? So Bangladesh sitting in between is going to be under the influence of nuclear, whether you like or not, it's going to happen. So you see this picture, this shows the probable location. This is the Kudankulam nuclear power plant. This is a VVA reactor already in operation. An important thing is that this is Bangladesh and very close to the border. India has got a site, it's a Horipur site. And they have a plan to construct 6,000 megawatt nuclear power plant there. So this site will be having 6,000 megawatts. So if you have some plant and operating within the country or one country, is all the same. We're under the influence of nuclear, so it doesn't make any difference. So now just I commented like this. So when you see that you are getting surrounded by nuclear power plants of neighboring countries, it is better to decide to have some NPPs operating on your own soil and give a benefit thereof. So that is the spirit we're having and our people are having. And public opinion is very important. And interesting, we're very lucky in that sense. Our people is very much in favor of nuclear. The site we're having at Rupur, we're keeping the site. Atomic Energy Commission is having it since early 60s. For so many years, almost 50 years, people had to wait. Nothing happened. At certain point in the past, not this government, some other government, they decided to hand over this site to for some other purpose, export processing zone. But local people raised a very serious protest. They said, you cannot do that. Their point was either build a nuclear power plant or give back our land to us. So we're very lucky, what is strong support our people. So I'm very much thankful and grateful to the people. And actually, fortunately, I belong to that locality. My hometown is about 20 kilometers from the Rupur side. So I'm thankful to our people, and they're giving very big support. But public opinion is very important, but we need to give answer to the public questions. So you see, I have come up with a question from our Indonesian friends. What is the question? Can you read it? Is nuclear energy halal or haram? So this is the question, it was not asked to me, it was asked to some Russian experts. In 2016, when I was in the office of the chairman, a group of Russian experts, they're traveling back to Russia. I'm sorry, they're coming from Indonesia. They're having a public meeting there. And in the meeting, some gentleman asked them a question whether nuclear power is a haram and halal. Our Russian friend didn't have any answer. So they asked me, Mr. Ali, do you have any answer to this question? Then I responded like this. I told them, in my opinion, nuclear energy is 100% halal. And not only halal, even more than that. And I'm telling here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to my understanding, I may be wrong, Allah knows it better. Allah ta'ala wants us to use nuclear energy and bring immense benefit to the mankind. Now, my friend might think why I'm telling it like that. I'll come to this point once again at the back end of my presentation. When I'll come to the concluding remarks, I'll share these things in more detail with you, my colleagues, Indonesian friends. So nuclear infrastructure, so this again, BAC is the main player. So it is an old organization, and it is running before 1971, because since Pakistan time, in mid-50s, it started functioning. It is a part of Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission. So we had many colleagues coming from this PSC when Bangladesh Atomic Energy Commission was formed. So just many very learned people, very qualified people, nuclear experts were there. And interesting thing is that the first nuclear power plant that started functioning in Pakistan, we call it, they call it Karachi nuclear power plant. And many, almost 90% of the operation people were from, just Bangladesh. And many of them were my colleagues. I worked with them. So when I was very young. So BSc is having about close to 3,000 people, and about 500 people have got very good exposure in nuclear experience. So this is the structure of BSc. BSc is Bangladesh Atomic Energy Commission. So they are the owner of a nuclear power plant, as you can see it. And under BSc, there's a company, you call it Nuclear Power Company Bangladesh Limited. They are the operator plant. They will be operating that Rupur nuclear power plant. And there is one more player, it's very important, regulatory authority. So all these organizations, BSc and regulatory authority, they are working under Ministry of Science and Technology. And these are all the infrastructure, and these my research reactor is in here. I spent 30 years of my life, in this campus. So these are the major facilities of these Atomic Energy Commission. I think these are similar. I think Indonesia are having much more installations than we're having. So these are trigger reactors, similar to the Bandung trigger reactors. These are health physics and waste processing laboratory, isotope production laboratory, and these activation analysis. These are tandem accelerator. These are cobalt-60 radiation plant. And also we give nuclear medicine services to our people. About 500,000 people and receive nuclear medicine services every year. Right now, 16 medical centers are in operation, 15, sorry, and 8 are in the pipeline, so they're coming up. So all the just public medical colleges are having one nuclear medicine center, operated and managed by BAC. So regulatory infrastructure, actually, BSc initial days, BSc had a role to play. It was an operator as well as the regulator until 1220. There was a new regulations that established a new separate organization. This is the building. This building has grown up now. It's a 10-story building, which was taken in 2015, 16 maybe. So they are also coming up. And also we made some changes, just some addition in our law, nuclear law. So the issue of security safeguards and particularly civil liability was not addressed in the previous law. So when the new law was promulgated in 2012, so these issues are addressed properly. And so now, as we decided to go for nuclear power, so civil liability is a very important issue. You need to address it. Otherwise, you cannot have vendor, have contract with you. So this is the structure. They're in the process of taking people, and they need to go a long way. Right now, while they're taking help from the technical support organization, TSOs, this is a Russian organization, very famous, Biosafety and SEC NRS. These two are the technical support organization. They have contract with the regulatory body of Bangladesh, and they are helping. Actually, they are doing the main task. As BIRA is a new organization, and they don't have any actually yet to develop qualified manpower who can support and give regulatory aspects, take care of regulatory aspects of nuclear power program. But they're in a process. They have started recruiting people. They're going to expand. Just the government has given them a lot of money. It's a separate projects. It's quite a big project. They're having to develop the infrastructure. And you can see, these are siting license. When I was in here in 16, and then our predecessor, they're giving the construction license. So, so this license was given, just for the second unit in 2018. And these activities going on, being carried out with the buyer regulators. They need to do a lot of paperwork, a lot of meetings, and they're doing it with their Russian counterparts, coming from the Rostec-Nazor regulatory organization, as you can see. HRD aspect and educational institution. Educational aspect is very important in nuclear business. Atomic Commission have been doing it for a long time, many years. So, and we had some very good partners, our friends and our Japanese friends, Korean friends, and our Indonesian, and many other countries, they help us a lot. India also gave us a lot of just support in this regard, Russia, and also IEA, I got trained in the United States and many other countries, as I told Dr. Tashmad was telling. And actually, with the help of MEXT, we're operating these courses. Also, I think MEXT and also giving this support in Indonesia as well as they're giving it for sure in Malaysia. And this is a very good support, and our young colleagues are getting trained here. And I must, I'm sorry to mention that Dr. Amano is no more with us. He was so kind to us. He is the Director General of IEA, and he presented it as a gift to Bangladesh nuclear program. It is a simulator. It is a wonderful simulator, and it has been installed in one of our offices in Dhaka. So that was a gift from the IEA, and it was initiated by Dr. Amano. So unfortunately, we lost him. So this simulator is being used by BAC personnel, Rupur training, as well as students coming from different universities. So Russia is doing definitely is a very major role, for development of dissemination of nuclear knowledge. NEPU is very important structure for the nuclear power program development, and NEPU has got many stakeholders from different organizations within the government. NEPU, you need to give the people exposure, so that they can have some right kind of understanding of nuclear. So Russia has done their job very successfully. They trained a lot of our NEPU people. Of course, just many of our BSc people are being trained. And under the contract, there's this separately reactor operation people, more than about very close to 1,500 people will be given training under the contract signed with the Russian Federation on the Rupur project. And not only training alone, the higher study, our Bangladeshi students, about 90 students that are just, they studied and still studying in MEFI, a very prestigious organization in the Russian Federation. And several of them completed their masters and also PhD, and they have come and they're joining the program. So they'll be a very good workforce because they know Russian language very well. And you need to have, as I told, support from the public. And educating the people is also very important. That aspect was kept in mind by our Russian colleagues. So they develop a public communication center, nuclear energy information center, is being opened by our honorable minister and just #1 man of atmosphere export. You can see, it happened in 2013. And this site is visited by many school students, a member of the public, and they're getting information, although they can get their question answered by the colleagues there. And and the universities. And Dhaka University is a very old university, it's the oldest university in this country. So they open up nuclear, actually engineering department in 2012. And also this Military Institute of Science and Technology, they also come forward. They offer engineering degree in different disciplines. So they have started nuclear engineering courses. Actually, I'm working with these people as a part-time teacher. And just the people coming out from this university, the first cohort, they've already joined this Rupur program by this time. And Chuet, another university, they are also coming up. And Buet is the oldest and the very famous organization. And I was a student of Buet a long time back. So they're also coming up. They have, actually, I was with Buet for 3 years. 2014 to 2017, 3 years, I was a part-time teacher of the mechanical engineering department. And I was offering a course with one of my colleagues. I'm so sad to tell you that my colleagues, he passed away from COVID. Dr. Rashid Sarkar, he was a wonderful person, so supportive. May Allah grant him Jannatul Firdaus. Just in a couple of 1 or 2 weeks back, he's not with us. And he gave a very big support, from Buet. So Buet has an institute, open up an institute, that institute is coming up, just a couple of days back, I had a communication with a teacher who is in charge of the institute. They're also coming up, going to start master's program very soon. And this is a very nice thing done by our government. Actually, a couple of years back, they have revised the curriculum of the secondary school level. They introduced some, change the physics books, and this book now includes, several articles on atomic physics to, develop basic understanding of the students about nuclear technology. So now let's come to the main focal point of our discussion today, Rupur project. We call it RNPP. RN stands for Rupur and Nuclear Power Plant, as you can know. So we started with a small reactor, 3 megawatt, and now we're thinking about 3,600 megawatt reactor, very, very big reactor, you know. So we're working along this path. So Alhamdulillah, we're very lucky that, you know, we're having this show of activities now after so many years. Actually, Rupur, as I told, it started long time back, almost 50 years back, early 60s. And, you know, just 290 acres land was acquired, you know, a long time ago, many, many years ago. You know, we kept the land. And a lot of feasibility studies and these sort of activities were conducted, but unfortunately, nothing happened until the present government took over the power in 2009, 19, and 2009, when they started having very good discussions, negotiation with the Russian government. And I must say one thing, you know, Russia, during our war of liberation, we get very big support from two countries. One is India, our neighbor, and the other is Russian Federation. And it's interesting and very nice. We're thankful to both the countries. They have come forward again after so many years to help us again to solve one of our power generation problem through the use of the nuclear energy. And both the countries there have making very good cooperation with us. So this is really appreciable. So in now how we got involved with the Russian program, you know, 2009, there was a MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, signed between BS and Rosatom. This is the state corporation responsible for nuclear, you know. This was for peaceful use of nuclear. And of course, Bangladesh is the signatory of NPT, as you know. Our neighboring countries, you know, they have not signed NPT, but you know, we signed NPT a long time back, and we are very much committed to the peaceful use of nuclear energy. So this, we have manifested this thing for last, just a few decades. And 2010, a national, this is also important milestone event. A National Committee on Rupur Nuclear Power Plant project was formed, and the Honorable Prime Minister as the chair of the NPO. So NPO took its shape, a very concrete shape in 2010. But before that, in the year 2000, actually, in the year 2000, the present government was also in power. In between, there's another political party, they were in power for some time. But you know, when this present government was in power for the first time, they decided, you know, they approved a document, very, very important document for our nuclear power program. We call it BANPEP program. BANPEP is Bangladesh Nuclear Power Action Plan. Actually, I respectfully remember our colleague, Dr. C.S. Karim. He did a very good job and worked very hard for development of this BANPEP, but unfortunately left us. He passed away in 2015. And this is the structure of NAPIO. This is the structure of NAPIO, Nuclear Power Nuclear Energy Program Implementation Organization. That is the structure in 2010. It has been modified a little bit. I will show you. So how it worked, you know. Actually, you can see BSC is in here, okay? So what we did, BSC had a coordination committee with BSC chairman as the chair of the committee. And there were many, many subcommittees. And you can see at the right side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 committees. We formed these 7 committees with the aim to address all the 19 infrastructural issues covered by the milestone document. IE has got a very famous document, or everybody call it milestone document. So these committees, you know, just came up with the status of infrastructures, you know, with respect to the, you know, just sorry, points highlighted in milestone documents. So we developed this report, and from BSC report, this report went to the ministry. Ministry, actually, our NAPIO secretary, Ministry of Science and Technology, is the focal point of our NAPIO. So he has got a, you know, he has a working group, and so many, as you can see, sub working group. These working group are very important because they take stakeholder taking from all the ministries involved. So these are very, you know, just big committees involving a lot of experts coming from all the government sectors. I know, of course, I know, just it involves university teachers. So actually, the report prepared by BAC was reviewed by this committee, and they made some recommendations. And what to do for having a good nuclear power program, successful nuclear power program. Then these recommendations were transmitted to the highest level, to the office of the Prime Minister. So it was reviewed, and they give directive approval, and then it came down and went to the implementation level. So that is the structure of the NAPIO. the beginning. So as you can see, in 2010, there is no regulatory body. So you cannot see the regulatory body by reason here. Instead, there's a division. This division was doing the regulatory activity under BAC. But 2012, by separate act, this division has been removed and they become an independent organizations. So this is the structure of NAPIO as of 2019. So actually, as I told, they're sitting at the top, the Honorable Prime Minister, then Minister is the focal minister of the government of Bangladesh, and Secretary, he's the focal point for the NAPIO in our structure. So, and this is also a very important event took place in 2010. 2010 is very important for us, for the Rukur nuclear power project, because the parliament, national parliament, took a decision, firm decision to go for nuclear. The decision was taken unanimously in the national parliament. So that is a very important turning point for our program. And the same year, DG Amano, Dr. Amano, he visited us and he expressed his willingness to support Bangladesh, to have a good nuclear power program, safe nuclear power program. An inner mission was conducted, just infrastructure review mission, IES. So they conducted this mission to make an assessment of the status. And 2011, and just also again, it's important, we signed an IGA, intergovernmental agreement, with the Russian Rosatom in Bangladesh, our minister, in presence of Honorable Prime Minister. This is the, just the ball started rolling. And the important feature of this IG is that Russian government will provide 90% of the project cost, which is very, very important. We didn't have much money. We need to have support, and Russians they are able to give us this support. And Russia, our counterpart, will supply nuclear fuel for the entire operational life of the nuclear power plants. And very, very important point, most important for us, spent nuclear fuel will be taken back to the Russian Federation. Actually, we had two issues that are main issues. Financing, just as I told, you need a lot of money, we didn't have much money. So, and spent fuel take back. And Russia is the only country, only vendor country, which agreed to comply with our requirements. So we're thankful to our Russian friends for that. And the IGA established Bangladesh Atomic Energy Commission as a customer. And JSC Atom Strike Export is a Russian company, very big nuclear contractor as a general contractor. So I worked very closely with the development of the contract with the Russian counterpart when I was in the office. And also to support the regulatory infrastructure development, the ministry signed an MAU with this agreement with the Rostekhnadzor, the Russian regulator. And 2013, the loan agreement in presence of Honorable Prime Minister, and we started getting fund for the P-project activities from the Russian side. And on the same year, 2nd October, Honorable Prime Minister, she is opened the just a P-project activity at Rukur site. Now, this is a lot of field work, survey work, and development, design development, documentation development. So these activities started going on. So 2014, end of 2014, December, we started negotiating with the Russian contractor ASE for development of a general contract, and the document was finalized and signed on 25th December. 25th December it was signed. On this day, I was in Moscow having some negotiation. My colleague, just the then chairman, he was signing the contract. So responsibility, just determined by the general contract, NPP construction and erection work. This will be done by the ASE, and of course the development of manpower that will be done by ASE, and manufacturing LTME equipment to be supplied with the ASE, general purpose technical and office equipment, final design and working documentation, training of operation personnel, commissioning and startup will be done with Russian, supply of nuclear fuel for the initial loading and the next two reload, and subsequent just for the reload we should buy fuel. And actually you can see we already signed contract with a Russian fuel supplier for getting fuel for the future, just operation of the nuclear power plant. And then siting license was issued by just regulator with the help of just taking assistance from the VOSFT, the Russian just the consulting organizations. And then a credit agreement was signed in between two governments, and the project was approved in the ECNEC. Very famous day, I remember, 6th December. I was present in the meeting, and it was a very remarkable, just remarkable, and memorable day for us. Particularly BACP, dream is coming to true. The project was approved in the ECNEC. And return of spent fuel. We signed an agreement with a Russian counterpart, in Moscow in 2017. After I left this office to sign, and these are concrete pouring first concrete, for the first unit. Honorable Prime Minister, it's a very big event. And then construction activities started and then the second unit, next year, 14 July. So very important event, So my observation is that you need to have a very strong commitment of the head of the government. This is extremely important to have an effective nuclear power program. But we're lucky, alhamdulillah, we're having this support from honorable prime ministers. Atomic Energy Commission people are very much thankful to her. Actually, she's a member of her family, Atomic family. Her husband was the chairman of Atomic Energy Commission in 1999.
Oh,
yes. And we're lucky that unfortunately she passed away in 2009. And he had a very desire to have nuclear power plant projects materialized, but unfortunately he passed away this year. We started developing the activity. May Allah grant him Jannah al-Firdaus. So these activities, just 2018, recent activities are going on. Core catcher. Well, Bakri Arabi was telling me about the core catcher. Actually, the core damage frequency is very, very low. It's -7. I can remember the figure, but I can give it to you, the official figure we're having, but it's very low. And even if the frequency is very, very low, but even if something goes wrong, this 800-ton structure will be sitting beneath the core to catch the molten core, so then nothing will go to the environment. So this is the important feature of the generation 3+ reactors. This reactor and our reactor will be having this core catcher. This is the status of construction work. I'm not sure, Dosto, how much time do you have?
Yeah, okay, it's okay, no problem. Yeah, probably okay. five minutes. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so I'll go first. You see?
Yeah.
And these you see you need not the nuclear power plant construction.
5 minutes will be okay. Yeah, Dosto, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In 7 minutes, I'm completed. There's we're making a lot of accommodation, new accommodation, 20-story building, for the NPP personnel. Right now, these are occupied by Russian people. Right now, almost 2,000, more than 2,000 Russians are working there. Together, 10,000 people are actively working amidst the COVID in the site. So our reactor pressure vessel and pressurizer, they're ready for shipment. Hopefully they will arrive Bangladesh at the end of this year. And for receiving those heavy equipment, the Russian, they have built up a jetty. You can see the jetty developed along the Padma River side. And this is the schedule, this is the schedule of our just construction. This is the officially approved schedule. Fuel loading will start on the October 23, just from now, and the startup and the provisional takeover in October 24, and next year the second unit. So with this target, our activities are going on, and I've been told that very recently that almost 30% of the construction work is going very satisfactorily. So I've come to the concluding remarks, and 5 minutes I'll complete it, inshallah. Yes. So before I go to the main concluding points, I got to share something with my Indonesian friends. I would like to share with you an interesting table. This table is a heat value of fuel, different fuel. For example, natural gas, Australian natural gas has the very high heat value. How much it is? 55 megajoule per kg. But look at the uranium. These are fuel and heat value. These uranium. You see, 55 is the highest. All the other figures are low. But how about the uranium-235? 1 kg of uranium-235 can contain 82 million megajoule. So is this not comparable? Enormously big. So this is the important thing you need to keep in mind. The metal, uranium, Allah Ta'ala has given so huge energy. So okay, in my opinion, just nuclear is a gift, divine gift. So I told it it's a halal. So actually, one of my colleagues, he's a non-Muslim colleague, one of my friend and colleagues, he told me a question in 2013 when I was meeting in Russia. So he told me, just is there anything said in your Holy Quran about this nuclear energy? I started, looking for that, and suddenly, Alhamdulillah, I got a verse of Surah Al-Hadid. I remember the name of our friend Hadid Subki. So Al-Hadid is metal iron. The verse 25, it says, it's a part of the verse, and we send down iron. Now we know you can the earth cannot produce iron. It has been sent down from above. From it is produced in some in some stars. That stars died and left this iron, so it has been transported to earth. And Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is telling it has enormous energy, and we have seen it. Compared to other fuel, it has got huge energy. And then metal has energy, just metal, this is Allah Ta'ala is saying iron. Uranium is a metal. Nobody knew about uranium, in the years, in the time of Prophet Islam. It is like an iron, So, just it is my interpretation. This is indication about the energy we're having in uranium. And people didn't know about this energy until 1905 when Mr. Einstein had come up with this equation. So you see, just I'm sorry, so it is repeated again. So, and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is mentioning in the Holy Quran, this energy can bring immense benefit to the mankind. So it is my opinion, it's a divine gift from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to mankind, and we need to make use of this energy, for the benefit of mankind. So I consider this to be halal, as I told in my early presentation. So these are the concluding remarks, so under the able leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she's really doing a very good job, and she gave a very good leadership to pursue the project, and we're having it after 50 years. So we're going to materialize the projects. But Bangladesh is lucky in many respects. I think I highlighted some of the points. Very strong government support. All the NABE members are having someone supporting us very nicely. Positive public opinion. And interesting thing is that major political parties, they are also positive about nuclear. And help of giant nuclear technology supplier, country like Russian Federation. Actually, we're very much thankful and grateful to Russia because they're giving us the technology, a state credit, and 90% cost is coming from them, and they're agreeable to take back the spent. So this is a very important point for us. And also, we're thankful to our neighbor. India is giving us good support, and they're also working with the Russian Federation at the site. If you go to the site, you'll find there 3 nations: the Russian, Indian, and Bangladesh. So I'm always thankful, as I've mentioned, to all our friends who help us to develop this program. I especially recognize and gratefully remember the help we got from Batan that helped us to learn nuclear technology first time in our life. As I told you, I was basically an electrical engineer, had little knowledge, and I'm particularly thankful to my friend Tashmanda and Dr. Zaruk for giving me an opportunity to share my experience with the members of the Indonesian National Society. I'm very glad and delighted to hear the voice of Bakri Arabi. He's there. I worked with him in 1992. We were very young. He was also young at the time. Later he became the chairman. And I'm very delighted that I could meet him through this webinar. So I'm very much thankful to our friends who gave me the opportunity. And at the end, I'd like to say, let us come forward to make use of the huge energy of atomic nucleus and bring about immense benefit to the mankind. So with all this, I'd like to say you dhanyabad in my language, which means terima kasih. Terima kasih banyak, Pak. Terima kasih.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dosto, Mr. Ali, so for your very comprehensive presentation. And I think a lot of questions in my hand. And probably I would like to conclude, maybe to repeat the note For example, the support from the government is very important. It is
That's correct.
highlighted.
That's correct.
And also the public opinion should be very positive, because politicians in our, for example, in your country is very supportive for the NPP construction. And even though the Bangladesh thought about the NPP's early 60s before independent, but fortunately you are very successful to finally decide that the NPP should be a
Yes, alhamdulillah.
And also the very important thing that the Russian Federation is very supportive, that the 90% of funding, because I think in our problem too, that for example, like our government already stated that it is allowed to build the nuclear power plant in our country as long as that is not financed by the government. That's like in your case, it's very good. And also the collaboration with the, like you mentioned, like India, China, and also the other country, all very supportive from IE is very important as well. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ali. But are you ready to answer a lot of questions?
Yes, sir. Please.
Probably
I'll try.
Just drink for a little while. Drink water, I guess, is very important for you.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay,
Mr.
Mr. Ali, before I propose the question from the floor, so I would like to highlight, so until the end, so there are 267 participants. So it's great.
Oh, really? Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah, in June, and also in YouTube, I saw here 53. So the total is something like 230. It's a lot of people are very interested in seeing your presentation, right? So before I deliver the question from the floor, so I would like to invite Dr. Pak Haris. Selamat malam, Pak Haris.
Selamat malam, Pak Taswanda.
Yeah. Dosto, Mr. Ali, so there is should be a question from Dr. Haris. Dr. Haris is really now is currently director of the Priorities of Energy from the Ministry of Energy and Money Resources. So I think it should have it should be a very interesting question to you. Pak Haris, please. Question delivered to Mr. Ali.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Taswanda. Thank you, Pak Jarod. And thank you, HIMNI, Himpunan Masyarakat Nuklir Indonesia, to inviting us to join this very important meeting. And then also, Excellency, Mr. Ali, very comprehensive presentation. It's a very good, I think this is a very good lesson learning from Indonesia, from you to Indonesia, because now a long time we already talking about nuclear power, but so far there is no good progress yet. I think from your presentation, we see that there is a similar situation between Bangladesh and Indonesia. Like population, Bangladesh also like about 167 million, Indonesia maybe about 260 million. And power generation now in Bangladesh is about more than 23 gigawatt. In Indonesia is about 69 something gigawatt.
Right.
And then also electrification ratio in Bangladesh is about 97. In Indonesia is about 98%. So I think this is a similar situation. And then our electrification consumption per capita also, I think this is maybe similar. Indonesia is now about 1,070.
Right. Almost double.
Kilowatt-hour per capita per year. But I think when we see that the situation of the existing energy in Bangladesh, but before I talking about this kind, so first I would like to say congratulations for Bangladesh, Mr. Ali.
Thank you.
You success to construct 2,400 megawatt of nuclear for
power plant.
Okay. Yeah. So we imagine, yes, we still not imagine Indonesia when we also have the first nuclear power plant.
Inshallah.
Then also, I think very interesting also, you can accelerate the power install capacity only during 10 years from only about less than 5,000 megawatt in 2009 to more than 23 gigawatt in 2019. This is, I think, this is very good progress in electrification acceleration. And then I think I see in the situation of power generation. I mean the energy mix in power generation. So I think this in this situation, I see that majority of electricity power generation in Bangladesh now is still from gas, and also from oil, and a very small amount of renewable energy. If I don't mistake, only about more than 2%. Yeah. So I think this is a little bit different with Indonesia. I don't know how much the capacity of I mean the potential of renewable energy in Bangladesh, but in Indonesia, just for information, is we have about more than 400 gigawatt potential, but now still lack implementation, only 2.5% or about 10,000 megawatt for renewable energy. I think there is much lesson learned from Bangladesh. We can note. I think Pak Taswanda also highlighted some already, especially about the very strong support from the leaders. I think this is very important key in Bangladesh to go to the nuclear. I think Indonesia is still in progress to go to the national commitment also, but I think we are still need to prepare several activity, because now Indonesia, if we're talking about the infrastructure of nuclear, I think from 19 infrastructure, Indonesia still miss for 3 infrastructure. National commitment also build the NEPIO and also the stakeholder involvement. If we can solve these 3, I think Indonesia also will go to the nuclear soon. I think I would like to know from your perspective that first is, do you also have target for emission reduction in Bangladesh? Because I think this is also one of a very important issue, like in Indonesia, as a consideration to develop more green energy. And then I would like also to know about the.
Would you like to repeat question, Pak Haris?
Actually, the sound system is not working well.
Okay. The first question related to the emission target, Pak Taswanda.
Okay.
Any emission target from Bangladesh? Because we know that emission target also is one of the a good consideration to accelerate more green energy, including also, I think, nuclear. And then the second, I would like also to know how the government provide effort to minimize the reluctance from the society, because I think this is a very important issue, including in Indonesia. How the government and how long Bangladesh provide effort to reduce, to manage the reluctance from the society. I think this is my question, Pak. Terima kasih, Pak Taswanda.
Thank you very much for the question from Dr. Haris. Would you like to answer the question?
Okay, so thank you, Pak Haris, for your questions. Actually, definitely the emission, the reduction of emission of carbon dioxide, NOx, SOx gas, it is a global target, and Bangladesh definitely is very much supportive. But unfortunately, Bangladesh doesn't produce much energy, So far as greenhouse gases are concerned and the production of gas globally, Bangladesh's contribution is very, very insignificant. But still, then government is very positive about the reduction program, and this is is one of the reasons that there has been big emphasis on renewable, and particularly for green energy like nuclear. And about the reluctance, you mean reluctance for people not for going to nuclear? Is this correct? Reluctance for what?
Yeah, reluctant.
If you say, but somehow since the just Pakistani era, back in 50s, 60s, these people, people of the soil, are just they have never showed any anti-nuclear sentiment, because as I said, the land was acquired long time back in the 60s, early 60s, and the land was lying vacant without anything, and at a certain point in the past, maybe 15 years or more than that, some government, not this present, the party, some other party, when they're in power, there's an initiative to give the land back to the people, landowner, not to the owner. They try to set up some industry other than nuclear, but local people raise a serious protest. They said, no, you cannot do it. Either build nuclear power plant on the soil and give to the government for making it, or give our land back to us. So you can imagine what a strong support, But actually, government definitely has some program. Government, just as I told, in the school level, they included some physics books with some information on nuclear, so that people can start understanding, thinking about nuclear when at a young age. And also, the government arranged many public meetings in almost all the districts. There's a science fair, I delivered lectures in many of the public meetings. I saw people from different walks of life. They're coming, and they're just showing their interest. They came up with questions, and I noticed a lot of enthusiasm. And also, as I told, the NAPU members are being sent abroad to have first-hand knowledge on nuclear, to have the impression about the nuclear power plants and the nuclear safety. So these help a lot. The government did a very good job, because you need to make your people aware. Otherwise, sometimes they become shaky and they cannot take firm decision. And government did this job very, very effectively, I should say. And as I told, our development partners, the development nuclear, the IE also played a very good role. They gave very big support, and also just the Russian Federation. They give a very, very big support. They accommodate many of our colleagues here, and they got trained, they got exposure. So I think, just I never personally noticed any reluctance from a member of the public, serious reluctance in a group. You can always find 2 or 3 individuals, and they're having some different opinion. That is a different case. But Bangladesh is lucky to have a very good public support for nuclear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Mr. Ali. So I think there's so many policies given by the government to convince people that finally people accept the nuclear power plant you can take. Yeah. So Mr. Ali, there is another question from Mr. Bakri. Do you have answer? Probably.
Yeah. I already told about the forecaster, and also.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The third question will be delivered from the our expert, Ms. Geni. Dr. Geni is expert of record technology, and is the former director for the Center for Nuclear Reactor Technology and Safety. And I think the question must be very tough, I guess, and I am very sure that you are able to answer. Bu Geni, please.
Yeah, thank you, Pak Taswanda. Dr. Ali, maybe you already forgot about me.
No, I'm not. How can I forget? No, we went together with Pak Jarot in Morocco.
Oh yeah. Oh, lucky for me. Did you still remember me? Yeah.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah, yes, nice to meet you. And I want to ask you about the first of all, I want to say thank you for your sharing experience about the Bangladesh, how to be able to construct their first NPP, and it is very impressive and interesting one for us, I think, in Indonesia. And then I think that Indonesia should learn, Pak Taswanda, from the Bangladesh. We have to have the leader who has exposed that
Bangladesh is
has
more step ahead of Indonesia.
we have to have a leader that has a spouse who has background as a nuclear energy.
So I agree.
Sorry.
I think that Bangladesh is very lucky to have the prime minister, very
Of course
strong
we are.
prime minister, that has been supported from the public. I think almost 100%, or I don't know. And then my question regarding to the public acceptance is Bangladesh has a culture that if the prime minister say this one, please go nuclear, and no anti-nuclear can say no.
No. Actually, no. Actually, in many years, for example, government was thinking to dig out coal. We are having some coal, okay? Coal mines, in northern part of the country, we're having very high quality coal. These are one of the best coal available on the face of earth. And government was thinking to dig out this coal mining, but there's a serious protest from the public, and government decided not to go. And the prime minister was positive, but unfortunately, as there was opposition from the people, so actually, it depends on the people, just the opinion of the people. So it is not like that. If government, head of the state says go this way, they will go that way. It is not the case. They will make the judgment on the basis of their own judgment, understanding, and just they support the government. So our people are really very lucky. We're also lucky with the prime minister, our leadership, and so all the just move are supported by the people. But as I told, just the coal digging out. So government decided let the coal be just buried under the soil. We'll import coal. Mostly the generating power from coal is going to be the imported coal, and maybe it seems Indonesia will be one of the major supplier, inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah. And then, Pantas Madam, can I?
Please.
Okay. Regarding, I think that the Bangladesh people, who are working in the Nuclear Energy Commission are very smart one. I know that. And then my question is, how far is the people who are working in the Nuclear Energy Commission interfere on choosing the type of the NPP?
Okay. Sorry. So we selected Russian technology, Russian technology, and definitely we did a lot of some brainstorming, about the technology, see, and just we decided long time back that we will not go for boiling water reactor. We'll go for pressurized water reactor. That was this sort of thing was in our mind for a long time. We never thought about having boiling water reactor or other reactors, but we thought of pressurized water reactor, and we thought about to have a reactor that has got passive safety, and we also think of to have a reactor that has got a reference plant. So we're talking about generation 3 plant. But generation 3 plant, there must be some plant operating on the face of Earth. And we could see the Russian are the fast, in that respect, because Novorossiysk nuclear power plant is a generation 3, real generation 3 power plant with passive safety features. So that helped us a lot, to have a, and also you see, if you think about the operating experience of reactors, right now the total nuclear industry is having a operating experience of about very close to 2,000 reactor years. But VVA reactor alone, operating experience of these VVA reactors are about very close to 1,800 reactor year. It is a very mature technology. And VVA technology, just they're operating in many parts of the world, many parts in Europe, in China, and our neighboring country. And the performance record, the safety record is very, very satisfactory. So we're very positive. BAC was very positive and supportive, for this VVA technology. I know. I was visiting Europe. I remember some of our European experts. They recommended me. It's 1907 or something like that. He's strongly recommended me. Ali, you were thinking about to have nuclear power plants. Why don't you take this Russian VVF 440 technology? It's very robust, very proven, very safe. So actually, we have taken a proven technology. That technology should have a reference plant, and we're having the reference plant. The plant is in operation. So it fulfilled all the requirements that are just we're having in Iran.
Oh, that's very nice. Another one question is okay,
Okay,
Pak
please.
Tasmanda. Okay. My last question is regarding to the regulation. I think it is very interesting
Of course,
from Bangladesh. Yeah,
very
because
important.
when your prime minister say gonuk, and almost at the same time your regulatory body decided to be separate from the operating
Yes.
body. And
Yes.
then Indonesia has a very delicate regulation for having the NPP. We are having 5 steps that we have to fulfill. It is very delicate when. And how about the Bangladesh?
Bangladesh, yeah. Because Bangladesh, first
Okay.
time you have the nuclear
Yeah.
power. It's very important to hear by all of us.
Actually, I tell you one thing, just as I told you, our regulatory body is a very new organization, and
Mm.
they have been handling research reactor and many other, you see, the radioactive facilities in the country, and they have long experience in that field, no doubt. They're doing quite well there. But unfortunately, they didn't have much exposure, or very little exposure of the regulation of nuclear power plant, big nuclear power plant,
Yes, yes.
like 1200 megawatt reactor. So actually, then how we are going to address the regulatory issues? Right now, government has given us budget. Okay,
Mm.
under the budget, with the use of budget, we have
Oh.
appointed very renowned organization, technical support organization of Russian Federation.
Mm.
And you can see it in the internet, the Biosafety and Secondary. These two organizations are actually, they are doing the just all the regulatory support. They are deeply involved, and they are working closely with the buyer people, buyer authority. So actually, we are purchasing expertise right now. As we don't have expertise, we are hiring expertise. But there's a plan to develop expertise, just within the organization. Then the organization is working in that line. And one important thing I would like to share with you, vision of government is very important. Atomic Energy Commission is an old organization, but in the past, so when I joined the reactor facility, just about say, for example, in my group, about 12 engineers were there in 80s. But right now, I see, at the end, only 3 of them sustain, only 3. So all of the people left. Why they left? Because government didn't have any vision at the time. So people thought, so nuclear doesn't have vision. But right now, when government has given a very clear vision in 2009, so I see many young people after completion of their PhD and masters abroad, they're coming back. But it didn't happen in the past, because just people are strong and smart enough. They say, there's no vision, nothing is going to grow in nuclear, so they left. But right now, many people are there, very young people coming back from different parts of the world after having requisite qualification. I'm very confident our young people are very smarter, much smarter than we old people, and they will take the nuclear program to a long way, inshallah.
Okay. Yeah, it's very good.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you for your very excellent sharing.
Yeah.
Terima
Terima kasih,
kasih.
Pak Tasmanda.
Terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Bugenia.
Sama-sama.
Mr. Ali, there is one question from, because also we invited this young millennial from the Harun Ardiansyah. Harun Ardiansyah, are you there? Yes. So you are studying in Michigan University, right?
Yes, exactly. I'm currently studying nuclear engineering and radiological science in University of Michigan in the United States.
Where are you from?
I'm from Surabaya, basically.
Surabaya, okay.
Yeah.
University of
Michigan.
My undergrad is from Gajah Mada University, UGM. I'm alumni of Nuclear Engineering Department in Universitas Gajah Mada.
Okay, please, would you like to deliver your question, please, to Mr.
Yeah,
Ali?
thank you. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to be involved in this webinar. Thank you so much, Dr. Zulkarnain, for the amazing presentation. Before I ask for my questions, I'd like to have a few comments. Basically, as a student, I'm really concerned about the educational infrastructure and R&D, and that also have been highlighted by Dr. Zulkarnain's presentation. My comment is, this is concern of my peer millennials, you can say, my peer students that about to graduate in undergraduate or graduate level. So we're concerned about how we can go into the industry, we can go back to Indonesia. And then my comment is about that. I saw that Bangladesh have a program that they support the students to go have an education abroad and then go back to their country to get involved to the BEAC or an EPIO and etc. to support the NPP construction. So I think it'll be good for Indonesia also, in my perspective, to have the same kind of infra that same structure. So in my opinion, there are a whole lot of scholars, Indonesian scholars abroad, that actually prefer to stay abroad just because they think they have no career if they go back to Indonesia. And I think that's an disadvantage for us, for nuclear engineering development in Indonesia. I think what we can introduce is maybe in our R&D organizations such as LIPI or Batan or Bapeten or etc. Maybe we can introduce some kind of like postdoc positions or something. I have no idea whether it exists or not, but it will be a good idea if it exists. And that's my comment on the educational infrastructure. And then I go to my question. I'm really curious about how the government to government relations, intergovernment agreement between Bangladesh and Russian Federation. Could you explain more about how the state credit works? I saw that there's 90% of the fund of all
Funding,
the cost,
supported
of all the
by
supported by the Russian Federation. How will it impact the economy of the Bangladesh? Whether it will be how, I mean, I'm no economy student, so I have no idea how the economy works. So could you explain to me and to all the audience how the state credit works? Thank you.
Okay, I'll thank you very much. I will come to the point and just in a moment. But before that, I would like to say that just the vision, nuclear vision of the government is very important for young people to come back after getting higher education abroad. As I told, situation in our country, it was different. People, it was a one-way traffic. People left the organization, never come back. Many of my colleagues, young colleagues, they're full-fledged professor of many American universities. They work with me in the reactor facility, but they never come back. But right now, things have changed. Because why? Because the government has given a vision. Now the young people can see that nuclear has vision in this, future in this country. So they are deciding to come back. So this is very important. I think same is the case in Indonesia when there's a vision given by the government, nuclear vision, definitely you'll find many young people are coming and a lot of opportunities will be created.
Yeah.
And the second issue of the state credit is a very well established. This is nothing new, in between Bangladesh and Russia. You'll find this arrangement, state credit arrangement, prevailing in many parts of the world. So as I told you, Russia is our very good friend. Because when we were struggling with our just independence war, and the issue was taken in United Nations, and Russia gave a veto. That veto just allowed us to have a just a war of independence going on, and ultimately the favor came to our result. So Russia is a long-tested friend. Russia as well as India, both the countries help us for last 50 years. In the initial, just when the country was being born, the help is very much important, and they are trusted friend. We call them trusted friend because just they help us in a very difficult time. So these friends have come up, to give state credit. So state credit, there can be different arrangement. How many years the loan will be given back, what will the interest rate. But in our case, the interest rate is about LIBOR plus 0.75% or something like that. The figure I can't remember, but there's a cap. It will not exceed 4%. So and actually, this NPP has a long operational life. Design life is 60 years, but I believe the American plans had a design life of 40 years, but they are operating for 60 years. They have been given life extension. Keeping that in mind, with the modern and improved technology, our plant can operate for a long years of 80 years. So eventually, the production cost of electricity will come down very significantly because of a long and extended operational life. And definitely, if you produce electricity and the plant factor is very high the nuclear power plant is a base load operation, so we'll be earning a lot of revenue. And I think within a stipulated time, we can pay back the loan, and it will bring benefit to the country. We are very much hopeful about that.
Okay, yeah. So
Can I?
probably it is very clear that. So how the price of electricity when you calculated about the rapport?
For Rupur, actually, very recently, there was an announcement from the Ministry of Science and Technology.
Yeah.
So it said it is about 4.5 taka. You know? 4.5 taka means $1 is about 80 taka. So it is about 5 plus cent, 5 point some cents. It's less than 6 cents.
Yeah, I think Mr. Harun, this is enough for tonight. So because there is a question from the floor. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
yes,
Mr. Ali, are you ready for another question from the floor? Yeah, I guess.
Yes, sir. I'm always ready to have questions from my Indonesian friends and colleagues.
Yeah, right. So regarding about the like Bugeni mentioned, there is some like anti-movement of nuclear in Bangladesh, right? Do you agree with that? So how do you handle about the anti-movement of nuclear in your country?
Actually, and as I will always find some people, some people are there will be talking against the program, But I don't call it an anti-nuclear movement. I didn't see anything like that. But I told you there was a movement, anti-coal mining movement.
Oh.
Anti-coal mining movement. When the government decided to dig out coal, but people did huge demonstration. They didn't support the program, So not anti-nuclear.
Mr. Ali, have you ever done the national polling about the nuclear power plant?
Yeah, actually, this is done, and I think first it was done in 2000. Actually, so far I remember, 2013. BAC conducted a polling, distributed questionnaire among the people, and I just maybe through. I don't remember. I was not involved in the mechanism, but I saw my colleagues collecting a lot of information sheet, and they did this sort of polling, and the polling was in favor of nuclear, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Mr. Ali, like tonight, there is all representative from our regulatory body. There is a question very important to you. So, you already mentioned, but probably you can repeat about your answer. So, how do you provide the nuclear fuel for NPP? That is one thing. And after that, do you have uranium mining in your country?
Unfortunately, we don't have any uranium mining. We have to depend on imported uranium.
But nuclear fuel will be sent back to Russia, right?
The spent fuel will be sent back to Russia, and as per contract, under the agreement, Russia will provide fuel for the entire operational life of the reactor.
Yeah.
Okay. The plant.
Yeah. Okay. There is another question also from the floor. How do you convince? The Prime Minister, also the stakeholder, of course, the BIC and as well as the NAPIO, to convince that the parliament finally accept that nuclear power plant should be available in your country?
Actually, I was present. Somehow, the government, our ministry invited 4 or 5 people from BAC to be present in the session of the parliament where the nuclear debate or decision was taken. But I was lucky; I was one of the 4 or 5 people. So there was a discussion among the members of the parliament. And I saw the discussion was very warm and very positive. The people sitting in the opposition bench, I think all of the people, it is very interesting. As I told you, our nuclear program is very lucky. So all the major political parties are supportive of nuclear. So it was approved, almost unanimously the decision was taken in favor of nuclear.
Yeah. Another question. Are you ready? Yeah. People ask me about in the here in the Zoom that what is the critical part when you are having the construction of NPP in your country? Because I'm very sure the case will be different country to country.
Okay.
What is the critical part?
Actually,
in your case,
yes, the critical. As I told you, the financing was a very important thing. That is addressed. We're happy that big loan we're getting for the Russian Federation and physical, constraint point of view, and our Bangladesh is a very big delta. Our soil is soft. We don't have hard rock. So hard rock is far beneath the soil. That is one of the issue in my opinion. And also the seismic zone, our seismicity level is much higher compared to the seismic level in Russia. Russia is very seismic zone. So these two issues are very critical from technical point of view, and Alhamdulillah, our just soft soil issue has been handled very nicely. It has been solved by adopting some soil stabilization technique, and it was very expensive. We had to spend about $700+ million
Oh,
just for stabilizing the soil. So it was a very big component of the total budget. And one more thing is that, as I told, the seismic level is quite just strong in this region, between we're not far from the Himalaya. So just our design, you know about OBE, operational basis earthquake, and SSE, safe shutdown earthquake. Our SSE is about 0.33 G, is very high. So the design level earthquake is about 0.46 G, is very, very high. You see, the cost goes high, with the G value increases, horizontal acceleration, ground acceleration. So I think these issues were really, just is a matter of concern, but our designer is taking care of it. Is taking care of it. So we're having a design, which can stand very strong earthquake. Of course, we should pay more money for that because of high. Some site has got G. So if I remember, Indian southern part is not that seismic, so it's about 0.15 G. But our case, the SSE, safe shutdown earthquake, is 0.33 G, much higher.
Oh, okay. So you spend a lot of money.
And sorry, and one more issue, cooling water, because of the river.
Yeah. There is a question. There is, Mr. Rai, there is a question, because as far as I know, they are usually the NPP is in front of the sea, for example, right? At the beach, sea or the beach. But why? Because Ropur is near the river. So what is the reason why you construct it over there?
But let me share my experience. I visited Belarusian nuclear power plant construction site. The interesting thing is that it is far, a couple of kilometers from a river, very small river. If I compare, it is, we don't call it a river. It's a very small water flowing body. But Rupur was, Padma is a very big river. But now, because of the dam in the upstream, the flow has come down. But still then, the flow is good enough to support generation of operation of 4 nuclear power plants, producing more than 48,000 megawatt of electricity. And definitely we'll need to have cooling towers. We shall have to have giant cooling towers. Every unit will have 2 cooling towers. Very big. It's about 200-meter tall, very giant cooling towers you can see when the construction is completed. And when you have cooling tower, the total intake requirement from the river, ultimately it comes down drastically. So the water flow is not a problem.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Another question. So regarding about the regulation, like applied for the nuclear reactor. So do you develop the regulation by yourself, or just follow the licensing from the vendor?
Actually,
so,
as you know,
what do you do?
Actually, IEA guideline, you can see it, for a newcomer country, it is simply, it can be very difficult or impossible to develop, the whole set of regulation necessary for nuclear power plant, just design, construction, operation, maintenance, and all those things. So what you need to do there, there has to be big support from the vendor. And actually for the Rupur project, we're doing it. Or we're adopting the Russian regulations with necessary modification needed based on the local condition. And we'll be applying these regulations that is derived from the regulation. And of course, the Russian regulations, I've gone through some of the regulations and they comply. And they're more stringent, in certain cases, more stringent than many other countries' regulation. So we'll be going by the regulation. So to begin with, I think that is quite a standard practice. And we're going to follow that.
Yeah, that is very good. Last question from the floor. Say, so regarding about the environment problem in your country, for example, if you have how do you handle regarding about the NPP construction related to the environment in your country? Is there any problem or you have not?
I couldn't understand. Would you please repeat it?
Mm-hmm.
What problem? What
I mean,
problem?
is there any problem? I mean, regarding about the environment in your country, and do you think that the by constructing nuclear power plant mean minimizing the environment problem if you have in your country? So that's from the floor.
Are you talking about environment?
Yeah.
Environment. Actually,
Yeah.
just nuclear is a very environmental, just power generation. It doesn't produces NOx, SOx gases, and you see, it is well established that nuclear power plant, of course, it some radiations comes out of it, just throw some effluent coming out. But if you consider coal power plant in the past, they emitted much more radioactivity than is emitted by big nuclear power plant right now. So I think nuclear is being considered as green and a renewable source of energy, and by many big nuclear power plant operators. And I also believe, and we also believe, that nuclear is the green technology. So it will not, a normal operation will not have any impact in case of accident. You see, what's going to happen in case of accident? You will have a release of radioactive material. But if you can contain all the radioactive material within this containment building, so then you are safe. Actually, the Generation 3 plus reactor has taken into consideration this aspect. If anything goes wrong, the probability of core damage is very, very 10 to the power minus, I forgot the figure, is very, very low. Exactly, I can remember. I'm not handling this thing for last 3 years or 4, but I forgot the figure. I need these things. But if you want, I can give it to you. What is the core damage begins for the Russian reactor? But it's drastically low, But even if anything goes wrong, so what will happen? This reactor is having double containment. Okay. And it has got grace period. The reactor can sustain without any operator action for up to 48 hours. No intervention is needed. When in Fukushima reactor, it's a generation 2 reactor. The grace period is over 30 minutes. If you cannot intervene within 30 minutes, so core damage can start. But generation 3 reactors, they're designed in such a way that long grace period we are having, I call it self-autonomy. The plant can take care, by passive means, it can take care of the decay heat and keep the reactor core safe even for long, long hours. And within this hour, you can take some corrective measures, So if anything goes wrong, the containment building will have double containment. Outer containment is just an airplane crash resistant, and and the core catcher is there, so that there will not be any slippage. If core gets melted, like that happened in Fukushima, just the soil is getting contaminated. But there is no chance in Rupur plant, because beneath the reactor pressure vessel, almost 800-ton huge core catcher with just sarcophagus material. They call it some just chemical or some material. It will contain the core, make it subcritical, and cool it down. So there is no chance of any leakage from this reactor core to outside world.
Okay, Mr. Ali. So the time is my time here. My dear, I see about the 9 to past 10. That's the all question I'll already delivered to you. So I think our distinguished participants are very happy to answer all of the question delivered.
Thank you, my friend.
There is my last question before we close the session. So my question is, we are convincing to the government, because our Ministry of Research Technology already agreed that the construction of NPP here is okay, as long as the budget is not financed by the government. And also the vendor from outside is very happy to hear about it. And some countries are making approach to the decision makers. So what is the important point of us in order to the government agreed, and also the vendor agreed, and finally the first NPP will be constructed and available in my country? Probably you have the special opinion for that. Actually, because really, I really appreciate for your country, because really you are more step ahead of Indonesia, even though we prepared before. So what is your opinion about it?
Actually, as you told it, and I know our Indonesian colleagues and friends since a long time. In 1983, I saw them working, and the level of technology understanding and knowledge is very, very appreciable. We have got a lot of wide range of experts. This is really very appreciable. You retain a lot of people, qualified people. The government could retain those people. But as there's a decision of the government to arrange financing, I think if we try, the vendor countries, I believe you can find out some proposals. So financing, as we got it, I think from other and a couple of countries, they're also interested to give us financing. But unfortunately, those countries, were not interested to take back the spent fuel. It is only Russia, who agreed, because Russia has got the whole fuel cycle. Okay, they have got the whole, all facilities of the complete fuel cycle, and they are operating very successfully, operating the fast breeder reactors. So they have closed the fuel cycle, and they're having the closed fuel cycle. What does it mean? So you have got everything. So just the technology is in hand. So Russia can forward take their spent fuel back. So, but I think spent fuel taken back, I don't know just whether this is a consideration, but you didn't mention it.
Yes,
but
one of the
financing, I think you can find definitely some vendor countries, we can be agreeable.
Yeah.
To finance your project.
Yeah, that's right. So I had a point. So again, I'm on behalf of the Indonesian Nuklir Society. Would like to thanks very much for the excellent presentation. I mean, very impressive the answer for our question. So unfortunately, we are limited by the time. So we already 9:15. So I really hope we will see you again. And we are very happy. In my counting, so about 350 people are participated in this webinar.
Alhamdulillah.
And, that's right. It's a lot of people. This is very great. Again, thank you very much for your presence tonight. And I think I really hope you will be having a good dream, right? Because the all question has been answered by you.
All friends that I could see, them after many, many years. So my friend, thank you very much. Selamat malam.
Yeah, so we wish to thank also very much for the Pak Jarod, who has coordinated about this webinar today. Pak Jarod, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I think thank you, Pak Ali. I think once the Indonesian government say to go nuclear, we would like to invite you as our expert. Because you know well many things.
I do agree.
I'd love to be there.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you very much for your presentation. The audience, there are many questions. So this is very impressive. Again, hope to see you again next time after the pandemic, I think, and we can witnessing the operation of the nuclear power plant in Bangladesh.
Thank you very much. So nice of you. Thank you very much.
And stay healthy.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Again, thank you very much for on behalf of the participant and the Indonesian Nuclear Society. Thank you very much.
So I love to say you all spasiba, balsha spasiba. This is Russian,
Yeah, that's right. Spasiba.
Selamat malam.
Selamat malam. Everybody, Pak Astasio.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Makasih.
Terima kasih banyak Bapak Ibu semuanya.
Sama-sama Pak Jarod, Bu Beni.
Iya, terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Mari.
Terima kasih Pak Jarod. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu semuanya.
Sama-sama Pak.
Pak Bas, terima kasih Pak Bas.
Ya,
nanti kita akan mengundang Uni Emirat Arab untuk bercerita pengalaman mereka. Moga-moga
bagus sekali itu Pak Jarod.
Ya, kerjasama dengan Kedutaan Besar Indonesia di Uni Emirat Arab.
Ya.
Okay. So sampai jumpa. Sampai
jumpa Pak Ali. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Pak.
Waalaikumsalam Pak Ali.
Bye.
Selamat malam.
Pak Jarod, Pak Taswanda, makasih.
Sama-sama. Mari. Yuk.
Terima kasih Pak Taswanda.
Besok kalau mau mengundang UAI lebih ramai lagi.
Okay.
Yeah.